This day 1202 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If I can sponsor coming share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, this can be directly be greatly appreciated. Say we're doing you're there, so I'm cool follow. See you have you design. Yud Aleph. Because I've been a base Yosef, Simon Dalit, Zip Dalit. Machvashim Tagni, a pan which you fry. Ava Bishan in Chometz Pesach Dailo Bagola. Even though in terms of Chometz and Pesach, it's enough to kasher it with hot water. The Yishai assumes to leave them for other prohibitions. It requires becoming white hot. White hot does not really mean white hot, as we shall see. It's libun kal, libun chomer, but it's a borrowed term. Rashba and Rosh argue about a pan. The Rashba custom Thursday established us machvash matachim matagni bo basar bedagim b'shemen al gabesh. The Rashba says it seems to me that a pan, a metal, which you fry meat and fish in oil on a fire, ain't lo hechsher or libun kaskala. It can't be kosher except with libun like a grill. Shmoni talking about b'shem what? Sometimes use very little oil. Most of the time the oil in the pan goes away. And then they add more. And sometimes the oil doesn't cover the entire pan. People and the pan absorbs the prohibited substance directly from the place where there's no oil on it, where it's not floating in oil. So it's like a usage through fire. It requires libun akal l'shano. But the Rosh writes in Machvas Yesham name a pan. Some say the low cycle it's not enough to do koshering. It doesn't make sense. The Imbana is that if we're concerned about perhaps that there was no oil between the food and the pan, in all pots sometimes because of lack of soup, lack of sauce, the cooked dish burns. The nisraf, and it gets overcooked and it's burnt. The need back and adheres to the sides of the pot. So it should require libun in that case. Let me see. We don't say never saw anybody say that. Tshuva Klal Yudalit, that's what he says in the Tshuva Klal Yudalit Ayin Sham. Rashba Yesh Lamar, according to Rashi, we could say the B'kdei Ravim Mikra Choyka. In a pot, this is a unlikely occurrence. Or perhaps it happens very occasionally, we should say. Whereas by a pan, it happens very frequently. But the base says it therefore makes a determination. Because when it absorbed the chametz, it was mutter. Also, because the I guess the oil, the mashke, doesn't have isur chametz. As opposed to absorbing isur, the isur bala, where it does absorb something which is already usur. Also, it's possible that the fat was the fat of the isur, like the lard of the pig, shuman treifa, or the fat of a treif animal. And then it got absorbed without water being in between. In other words, that was good for the fat in which you fried. There's a difference between the two opinions. The time of the terabala, according to the reason that it's okay because it absorbed heter. If you kosher meat to milk, vice versa, that would be enough to do hagola. Ganke terabala because it absorbed heter when it absorbed. The time of according to the second reason that the fat itself was what it fried, and that got absorbed in the wall. So that applies also by basar and cholov. Yesh talking about time shame one should be machmir like the second reason. It brings down to see the shach and prima gadim. The yeshim some say the basar cholov and cholov basar kli amadai ba'agola. The Rabbi Kiva Eger he brings down here says from meat to milk or vice versa. Everybody agrees that hagola is enough. Even though there's an opinion of the Magen Avraham that you shouldn't go ever from meat to milk or milk to meat, we're not concerned with this. We don't make zeros on our own. The Chazal didn't make it many years ago. I believe I heard from Rabbi Kellerman Zatzal from West Hempstead, the name of Chazam Sofer, that he said he get changed once from milk to meat and meat to milk, but not twice. But he doesn't mean that Chazam Sofer here. It's also explicit from the Torah. Shekasa writes, "V'chein imagil klisha basu shachav." Go from meat to milk. Or if vice versa, it's but it can't be within 24 hours of use. The double basharu, it's very simple to say. That a blech here is like a blech. It means a flat pan. Which you bake forbidden foods, or maybe it means just a pan which you bake in the oven. Also, these plates with which you bake kugels. So Isser, which are prohibited, you not require libun, below cycle hagola. Hagola does not suffice. Yud beis kasvatur. To the right, to hagola. How do you do hagola? Shaf shefa kliyetev. Scrub the vessel very well, to move the rust, and then dunk it in the water. If these things which are used as kli rishon, such as the different pots, you have to cash them in a kli rishon. You go kli rishon, it's called kli rishon, but other rosech when it's boiling. I feel like it's not on the fire anymore. Some say mishtamish b'kli b'odo gabe'esh. However, those who say if you used the vessel when it was on the fire, then the kashing has to dafka be kli sha'esh malech tachtov in a vessel which is on a fire. This makes sense. In brackets he says Yerushalmi, but Kira halachadav ain't shom beduk. Then Yerushalmi holds like this as well. If the vessel is very big, you can't put all of it at once in another vessel. You'll put in half a sheni and then the second half, but that's enough. If it's long, shigam zeno must speak low. That also doesn't work. Malam the bamsa, so in the middle of the two libun. Yuragadol, large batch, any which you can't put into another pot in any way, shape, or form. Yasel safami tit o batsek. You should make a rim for it out of pitch or out of dough. They should to fill it very well. So the water can come on all of its rim. Air, or put into it a flaming piece of wood. This will cause the water to boil even further. And they will go over the entire rim. It's even better, which we do today, put in white hot stones. That makes it very strong boiling. That's mutter no matter what. You give a Odkasav, the Torah also writes, a vessel which has a patch. You can't kasher it. Because that which is absorbed underneath the patch, doesn't come out through kashering. You have to remove the patch before you do kasher it. If you have a new jug where the which is signed by the craftsman on the bottom, when they're new, you can do agola. I guess we say that you can get into the indentation there. So something similar to the it's definitely made when it was anything was definitely made when it was new. So there's no impediments there. So therefore, also if you had a patch, which maybe before you use it, there's no problem because of our Chaim Simon Tana. It also says there, if you put coals where the patches are actually to the point that whatever a substance of Isser will be burnt off, it's also okay. Fly, but here also, if the absorption into the pot came before the patch, so we'll assume you have to put on coals actually manner to the point that sparks are flying. Yudalit, kelim shitzor hagola, ken which require hagola, im oilhem chifui bedil. There's a work to put on them a covering of tin. Shekrein oisweisen, vein abdil nid bakla kli, bilti ilibun ayedei ha'esh kedula manim. And the tin doesn't adhere to the vessel unless you make it white hot. like is well known to the craftsman. Near Darif Harbe Mago. It's much better than doing Hagolah. Female Libun Kal, and even if it's a light Libun, which is done in order to make it adhere, that's still better. It's still better than kashing. Some say even though you coat it with tin, you have to do Hagolah afterwards. Let me stop. It doesn't make sense. You can't lo tiny lo Hagolah. That's the case. Hagolah shouldn't work. Because the tin interrupts. These are two opinions, both on Magen Avram. There's no question that recoating a pan is better than doing kashri. Rabbeinu Eliyov Mizrahi with Tshuva Simon Mem Gimel Ha'Yishom Mechein HaMinik Pasha. That's the widespread custom. The bracket says here Mechein Yadasa Magen Avram Sham. Since we've been on Magen Avram as well. Yeshua L'Tzim Lachmir L'Atzich Hagolah Achar Ve'Ein Shum Tam B'Zeh. As you said, there's no reason to require Hagolah afterwards. Tez Vav Hakisuyim pot covers. Dinam Kakli Atzma. The halacha is like the vessel itself. Im Hu Kisui Ktera. It covers a pot. So Kisui Hagolah then requires kashri. The Kisui Ma'achol Shel Iser. If it covers a forbidden food, tzarich libun. I don't know what the difference between a kisui k'ter and a kisui machal is, but somehow I guess we're talking about a frying pan. I guess it requires libun. Meducha shom iser, a mortar and pestle, something which you crush stuff with. Mutaris bagola, you can kasher it. Oh, at least one my moschim. Or to put it in hot water, put the boiling stone in. Some people require libun by a press. It's not to have libun kal, which is it's hot enough that straw will burn on the outside of this vessel. It's mutter also with by kashering if there are no holes for stuff to gather inside. If you have a wooden press, you have to peel it. With a professional tool until it's completely smooth, and then you can do kasher. If it's already smooth and has no holes, you can kasher it below kilu without peeling it. You have one of these shovels which they use like to put matzah or pizza in an oven. Earlier it said which is I believe libun. Torah says in if you want to do a kasher vessel by pouring on it from a kli rishon. Rabbeinu Tam says the chashi kik kli rishon. Iwer kli rishon is like kli rishon, but Rashman goes up the lo chashi kli rishon. Pouring from a kli rishon is not considered to be like kli rishon. But Adoni Yavi Zal, the Rosh writes. Because the hachavade lamhani irui pouring this definitely doesn't work like that. Feeling this nachship. I know. Kli rishon, even you consider like a kli rishon, adavka laflit mimenu mat. Klipa. When you kli rishon, it's only like kli rishon to the extent that it can cause a little bit of the whatever is absorbed in the vessel to become emitted from it, which is also kidei klipa. But can't cause all of the isser which is absorbing it to be emitted. But so that's only used by Irui. Then it's good enough kasha through Irui. A vessel which was not only used as a klisheni, magil klisheni. You can do Hagolah on a klisheni. Vessel in which you use sharp stuff, such as a press in which you press shumin, which you press garlic and peppers in vorim asurim together with forbidden stuff. I feel but even they only use it in cold. So Hagolah requires kashing akal shon. It's the basis of Parshas Merchaim Siman Tov Nun. Now Pesach has been explained elsewhere. Yud Zayin. Od Kos Avatur Zel Shon. The Torah also writes Kos Avatur Shehi Yishah Kli B'Mayim Ad Sheyafli Kol Yisur Shabo. The vessel should remain in the water until all the Isser gets emitted. It's not the custom. Can be a daily sharmas. I thought it go. How do you know when it's going to emit everything? You're going to say, well, use it the same kasha the same way you use it. Love amani be'agola. Then kasha going to work. Shein ishtamish is a kamayami. You use it for several days. Ve'echav li'pamachas. How can it all come out at one time? So it must be that by one dunking, into hot water, it already emits everything. There's no difference if you let it sit there or you take it immediately, and that the custom is to take it immediately. Torah Chaim Sim Tov the base custom Lashon Hazeh. Torah writes custom read Mashu Lamani Bego Yura the Balte. You leave the vessels in the large kashering pot until they emit because of Yezri. Shonim writes me the Lashar Shira plate out. You know how to reckon this sheet measure of time for it to emit. On the contrary, maybe you're going to leave it inside because of volume, and then this is going to get absorbed again. Therefore, some of you Shemayim who wants to do Agala on many kalim, and they shouldn't answer each other by emitting from one and absorbing into the other. Don't kasha until after 24 hours. Okay, in the time of pogum, once the taste is pogum, ain't they can't ask for another kalim. Rakshagib was man had their kodem shah chamishis. If it's her Pesach, you should have to do Agala before the 5th hour. The Achar Yisur after it's also in Pekumas Materis, no sin time is not after by Chometz. Also here the two rights is not showing the Agala when the Kli is not Ben Yomo, Oshu Bamayim Shisha connected or the 60 corresponding to the Kli to Mabatel, anything which is emitted. But Advan Tuchim Beer, all this has to be explained, which we will see tomorrow.